Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by. We are on the Vast Voice. We are obviously interviewing some fun people who are entrepreneurs who hopefully can add value to you as an entrepreneur. I haven't talked to our next guest in a while. I think he's got a couple really cool things that I think are going to add value potentially to you as an entrepreneur. And by the way, he's been around for a while. He knows entrepreneurial elements because he is a smart entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Gibson. What's up, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me, Kenner. And of course, you'll see Kenner, and of course, you know my legal name. A lot of times I'm going to be seen as JD Gibson, first and middle initials, both of the platforms that we run. You're going to see JD Gibson. You're going to see the Escape Plan Dad, which is a new YouTube channel that I've been launching and just goes over an entrepreneurial type journey of mine and trying to help people basically separate themselves from the 9-to-5 world, the corporate world, and jump over to entrepreneurship. So I'm there to kind of guide them along and provide as much value from my experiences and whatnot to get them going, or add even more value to the journey if they've already started. So you'll see me as JD Gibson. So if you hear me kind of referring to myself in third person, it's kind of my character, right? And my channel essentially that I refer to. But yeah. So I don't know. Where do you want me to dive in? Kenner, you go over some of those latest things?
Yeah, it'll take 2 minutes to tell about yourself because I think it's a cool little story. And then let's get into some of the stuff that you have going on. Tell us, take 2 minutes, tell us about yourself, first of all.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, Scott, and gosh, well, one, there's a great book out there, by the way, that I put out, The Middle Class Mindset Escape Plan. Goes through a little bit more of my history in depth, more than 2 minutes. Also, obviously has some great tips on how to make that transition and get out of the mindset of middle class. Nothing wrong with middle class. But anyway, going back to myself, yeah, so I wrote that again to inspire people because of my journey, which is basically started off professionally trained as a pharmacist and working that grind. So for a lot of years, obviously got burned out. It's going on maybe close to 10 years now that I had, and actually we'll go back a bit, back in 2000, went through some overspending, competing with the Joneses basically, and ran myself through bankruptcy, right? So not ashamed of it. It's actually the best thing that ever happened to me. Taught me a lot more about financial education. This is obviously where I ran into Kenner and Kenner's awesome stuff that he does, right? The DB plans and all the kind of the financial education. So that was part of my journey. And then obviously as I transitioned and started learning more about entrepreneurship, trying to figure out, how am I going to set myself up to be able to live the same lifestyle as I was as a pharmacist later on in my life. And of course, that's what transpired to figuring out, hey, it's not going to work. I'm working for somebody else. I had to create my own thing. And that's where it took off. The journey just started diving into real estate ventures and learning more about, again, just overall financial education and picking up some properties here and there. And then ultimately figuring out how to create my own business through Patient RX Discount. At the time, it's rebranded RX Hacker. And yeah, from there, it's just like figuring out how I could help as many other people earn income, which is another affiliate style business that was ingrained into me early on that journey. Is like, if I can help as many people get what they want, I think that's a Zig Ziglar thing. I'm going to get what I want. So that's what I've been really passionate about over these last 5 to 10 years, really, is just really trying to help people earn a living outside of the normal corporate type of gig and on their own and figure out how to survive and what I call a freedom mindset. So that's kind of about me, just been through the whole gamut of professional career type thing and killing myself for somebody else and then figuring out that, hey, entrepreneurship's the way to go. And as long as you're willing to take that path that's a little more difficult and grind and put the time in and learn, anything's possible. It definitely happened to me.
Yeah, your story is very interesting. Actually, I've read your book. I have it somewhere on my bookshelf. I don't keep very many books, but I definitely have read your book and I know that it adds value. By the way, where can we get a copy of your book?
Yeah, no, of course, on just all of the main platforms. Amazon's obviously the biggest one. The audios are available on Audible, iTunes, all that kind of good stuff. And of course, anybody who reaches out to me and connects with me as well. I'm usually got ones over here in my office that I'm known to gladly send out hard copies to. Like I said, I just want to add value to people and help people and inspire people basically to make that shift to entrepreneurship. It's well worth it once you get going.
Yeah, totally. I think some people are afraid to make that jump to become an entrepreneur, but I think in the end, they'll be very happy that they did, generally speaking.
No, of course. That's one of my big things too, is just helping with the, the mindset portion of it, with all my personal development and whatnot that you have to go through as an entrepreneur. Now, again, I like to really share that with people. And obviously I've done more advanced studies in mindset training, and emotional intelligence is another big topic that I think people, as they're transitioning, really for anybody, no matter what kind of work environment they're in, is just learning more about emotional intelligence and how to understand your emotions, so that again it reflects upon your creativity and what you do through the rest of your life on a daily basis as well. So I really try to help people with that as much as possible.
Yeah, speaking of helping people, so what do you have going on now that can help an entrepreneur in their journey?
Yeah, no, a couple things, whether it's, directly for them or like I said, through my coaching services that we're about to launch. There's, again, depending on what level they're in, we're kind of coming in more for that individual that was probably more like my avatar. But again, it's open. I've got some young ones that I coach, 20 years old. I've got one kid that is just beginning. It's awesome to see that. But I think my avatar is a little bit more like my own age, that they're kind of making that transition when I started in my early 40s. And that's through affiliate marketing. I've got a program with New Lifespan. It's a nutraceutical platform that we have that has some of my own proprietary blends. As a pharmacist, that's obviously where some of that education came in, to help prepare and construct essentially some nutraceuticals that help people with energy and whatnot, a whole gamut of stuff. But along with that platform is, again, the service side that we're launching here at the end of the month, to train people how to, again, leverage affiliate links, how to build a network essentially, and provide residual income with the platform. So we've got a nice sophisticated system that replicates each website essentially when somebody comes in, not to go into the weeds too much, but essentially as a customer signs up, they're obviously naturally, when we jump online, we put our email in to get email notifications of where the product's going to be sent, all that good stuff. It's a natural progression for a customer to come in, but that's also tied to our affiliates for life. So our system's really smart, knows that when that person comes back to shop again, whether it's from our direct marketing efforts or whether it's from our micro influencers or influencers that are marketing out there online, if that person comes back to shop, that original affiliate is going to get credit, is going to get a 30% commission for that in perpetuity, basically. So I just tend to call it more of a passive type of play, but we're providing that for individuals so that they can grow their business and they're not always just exchanging time for money, right? It's actually got some money that's coming in as they sleep. And that's what I'm all about, is trying to help people provide, a 24/7, while you sleep, while you play, income source that's building for you. As long as you're putting some effort into it, it's going to keep growing. So that's one of the platforms that we're doing for the newer entrepreneur. Again, that individual that's coming in that doesn't want to, that's maybe a little scared or fearful to build their own business, because it can get costly. As we know, there's a lot of startup costs, especially if you're doing a brick and mortar and even online. I've done all of that. I've built a massive e-commerce business essentially with this platform, and it's very expensive. So we're essentially providing it, I call it business in a box, for somebody, so they can come in at a very low startup cost, almost nothing, and as long as they're willing to put the work in, put the time in, they can start building sales and again, residual sales. So that's the one that we're energetic about. Go ahead, Tina.
Yeah, so marketing what? Give me a little bit more of an explanation. What am I marketing? I love passive income. The people who are going to be listening and watching this love passive income. But what ultimately are they selling here?
Yeah, so ultimately it is basically our nutraceuticals. So these are basically a brand of, when I say nutraceuticals, right, they're supplements essentially. I have some things that are proprietary blended that are for energy, memory, and focus, that are not your run-of-the-mill items that are sitting on the retailer shelves, or Amazon for that matter. And then anything from collagen to greens, like we're launching a new greens formula. Again, all priced accordingly. They're not inexpensive supplements, again, that you would find on some of those platforms and those retailers. These are quality supplements that are manufactured here in the United States, manufactured in Utah. So these would be the kind of products that these members would come in. Obviously, and along with that platform, again, that we are launching, which is a training course that's a one-time payment, essentially very easy purchase price. It's not one of these crazy packages that, again, I have issues with. That's some of my video contents about that, is about the gurus out there that are charging these astronomical fees for my opinion, not much value. I've been stuck in them, so I'm basically giving back and figuring out ways to where I can provide a platform, a training system essentially, to teach you how to market your links, to teach you how to build even a white label business if you want, while you're working along with us and selling our supplements. again, developing residual income. So yeah, and people are going to ask, well, how do we obviously start off with the warm market? Whether they have friends and family that maybe you're taking a collagen supplement or a multivitamin that we have and a gummy. We've got a lot of SKUs of different products that are high quality products. Well, how do we work on getting their warm market, their immediate family members and whatnot to purchase their supplements? And then from there, we start teaching people, obviously, to work on cold traffic, whether it's building out their YouTube channel or building a YouTube channel if they don't have one, building a Facebook channel, essentially a sales page, or not sales page, but a business page, right? And I teach people how to run ads, right? Where you can do it yourself and you can keep your budget low. So all of those techniques basically rolled into that platform so that they can sell the products that we have. And then it kind of moves a step further from there. As they get a little bit more experience, they'll have that opportunity to actually sell even the training program for commissions. Okay. So, again, that gets off in a little weeds a little bit, but we show all of that, how it works. And it's just an affiliate program. It's not one of those, which I had no problem with. It's not a multi-level program that people have a little bit of hesitancy with. No problem with those whatsoever. Or it's just a straight affiliate type of program, but that does have that residual model, or what we call a hybrid model, that's built into it, again, for residual income. Because again, that's, I think, is, for people, again, to help people with their side and not be greedy on our side, right? I think it's all about how can we develop that residual income for them and give them a lifetime customer. So they're, again, it's a more sticky, what we call a little bit more sticky. They're going to tend to stay with us versus if you see like these online influencers, right? They may promote a product, but they get a link, they get a discount code, and it's one time, right? So if you get a large audience, that's okay. But I'm, again, trying to set this up for somebody that, again, that's beginning, that's got a smaller audience, right? It doesn't require basically that they're promoting this leak one time, and it's they're basically getting that over and over, so if they can get that family member to purchase over and over again, and then that family member again to recommend it to friends, that's typically going to come right back into our affiliates. Okay, so really just all about providing some kind of a residual income stream, and then sky's the limit. If they want an extra couple $100 a month, great. If they want to take it up to an untapped amount, again, it's up to the individual and what they put into it.
I know your stuff works. I mean, everything that I've seen you put your hand on has totally succeeded, as evidenced by the fact that your house is one of the nicest houses I've ever been in. Gosh. So I know that your stuff succeeds, and I know that how passionate you are, and I know that you really want to help some of the, these people who are coming in as clients of yours. You want to help them.
Of course.
And some of the stuff that you've done in your lifetime. I can only imagine how much time and passion you put into this project. And I know it's going to help a lot of people who are going to pick up on that passion and succeed just as you will.
100%. That's why, again, we decided to go with a service type of program or a coaching platform. So again, to reiterate, it's a one-time thing. We're going to be at $200 as a one-time flat fee. Now I'll probably launch it with, $100 off, obviously, as just to get the first people going, and the community builders, I need people obviously that want to be in there and help us actually build this, because this isn't going to be just something that's polished out of the box, right? And that's where, again, I love having people come in as a community, and there's going to be people that are experienced, some people that, definitely don't have no experience, and we can build this together. And again, I'm going to be on there weekly on lives, teaching what I know how to do, and then the rest of the community is going to be there helping build each other up as well, and then continuously adding material. So again, it's not going to be like, again, one of these things you see out there, you purchase it, you've got all these courses, and bam, once you have it, you're done, right? There's nothing else in there. This is going to be a live, what I call, it's a non-static type program. It's basically, it's always evolving. There'll be tons of material being added in there, and then we don't have enough time to go off into the direction that's going into the exercise and rewards platform that I have. Obviously, that's in the blockchain realm, and Kenner, that I'm into that stuff as well. But that's a whole another avenue that we can do on another call. That actually will go up into some levels and abilities for people to earn income for simply exercising and, again, promoting health and wellness. So again, we've got several different angles that are set up there for people to earn income and tap, what I call semi-passive income, right? And build their business. So all around health and wellness. So that's when you get back into what we're kind of promoting. It really comes back to just health and wellness. Supplementation is there kind of as a byproduct for helping people, obviously, with health and wellness. We know that the products will sell themselves. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. But yeah, it's exciting. I love helping people. That's what I've figured out, that really, that's what is satisfying to somebody as an entrepreneur. Like, I mean, the money, That stuff, and I think you can you can appreciate that too as well. Whenever I see other people start succeeding, that is what, it's like donating, right? When you donate your time or money, or you help somebody achieve a different level, say in financial success, or whatever. That's the most gratifying thing that I think you can ever experience. So that's kind of like a drug. I just love seeing people. And then, like I said, byproduct, obviously I do well from it, but that's definitely how it drives me. It's trying to help people succeed.
I know. Speaking of drugs and fitness, why don't you tell a little bit about, because you do have a lot of credibility, why don't you tell a little bit about your academic background so people understand, it makes sense for you to be talking about fitness, for you to be talking about, drugs. And
of course, yeah. And I think I mentioned that before. I went to my professional side is, I was trained as a pharmacist, as a doctor of pharmacy. And again, did that for, it was a little over 2 decades, as in the retail setting. I've been in a couple of different settings, whether it was hospital style, or in a clinic type of format. And then, of course, I spent most of my time in the retail side. And honestly, that is what also part of that being, one, being burned out. Not that I loved helping people, because that was why I got into the business is, obviously it seemed as the stable thing to do that my parents pushed me, or my dad, I should say, pushed me into. I wouldn't say pushed me into, but he encouraged me, right? Find something that's stable, which of course now I figure out, how stable is it for working with a large retailer like CVS or Walgreens, which is actually laying people off right now. So yeah, but that's where my professional side came in, is obviously studied the crap out of medications and drugs and disease systems and all that kind of stuff. And then I got to see firsthand, and all these customers and my clients and my patients coming in, and what kind of big pharma was truly about. And again, that's not my thing anymore. I figured out that there's some other ways I can help people, on the health and wellness and nutraceutical side, that made more sense to me after seeing people stuck on cholesterol meds and certain medications out there. And again, won't go in the weeds right now, that, they're Band-Aid solutions, really, in my opinion. They're there to, and again, without, getting myself into any hot water, and depending on who sees this, right? Big pharma is, again, is not there for they don't have your best interest in mind, put it that way. It's a big business, right? They make lots and lots of money, and just all I can say is the best interest of the patients that are taking those medications are definitely not there. So that's where I leverage that education as a pharmacist to obviously get this other startup going, with New Lifespan. Of course, as you know, that led me into Patient RX Discount and RX Hacker with the pharmacy discount card side, and blowing that business up again with the Pelton affiliate. But yeah, I've got the education backed and behind New Lifespan to produce some pretty good products, right, that will help people.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, we could talk at another time about some of your other ventures, man. You could fill up 20, it seems, episodes. There's no doubt about that. So how does someone get a hold of you? Because that's obviously important in marketing and to become your student, your pupil. How does someone get a hold of you?
Yeah. And again, going back to the beginning, right, you're going to see me as an estate plan dad. A couple of sites that are being finished out, but go to YouTube, go to Instagram, and just look up Escape Plan Dad. You're going to see JD Gibson there. Of course, on LinkedIn too, JD Gibson or Escape Plan Dad. That's all built out. We'll have a customized site here before long. It's actually just about to release. That will have some of our programs and these different avenues for people to come on board with us and be part of the community. And if they want to get hooked up as an affiliate with us, or as a coaching client. Again, a lot of that I just help people in general with coaching, and I don't have fees for a lot of that. I'll be honest with you. I give that value in hopes that they're just going to improve themselves. And if they want to come and work alongside of us, work with our affiliate programs, great. But if they don't, man, I'm here to help people. So yeah, that's Estate Plan Dad. Just look that up and you're going to see me there.
All right. How about in closing, what's one takeaway? We have let's say 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, what's the one takeaway you want people to walk away from this podcast? That, as far as viewers, I need one takeaway.
One takeaway. I'd say the takeaway, given the community that's looking at your podcast, is that, embrace the fear and know it's going to be there, and know that you can also make a change. So you're going to have to get comfortable being scared and comfortable being uncomfortable. But if you take that, what I call cross that line in the sand, and really make a decision to go full blast with being an entrepreneur, it's going to work out for you. And there's going to be a community around you, around Ken, around myself, that will help you make that transition. It's well worth it. So I'd say if you're on the fence, let's do it. Let's get over to the other side and enjoy another way of life, because it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I'm so glad, I decided to be an entrepreneur in '06. I mean, I was very, very scared, but man, I haven't looked back and once said, I wish I were still working for the man, for the woman. I'm very happy being an entrepreneur and stepping out.
No, I agree. And I tell people the same thing is like, and I wouldn't go back to it. I mean, even if I had to go back and do something, what they would call, if I had to dig ditches or do something in construction, as long as I was working for myself, I wouldn't go back to it. But I'm going to tell people too, as long as you start that journey, you're going to start learning so many things that it's incredible. Once you get just a little ways down the path, you're going to have some skills and knowledge that will allow for the doors to open up. So there should be no reason to go back other than, you have to pay some bills. And that's what I teach too, is like, let's don't just stop. Let's get a side hustle first, right? Let's get a side hustle, do what you're doing to pay the bills, right? And then once you start learning some of these other skill sets and figure out what you're passionate about, then you can slowly transition over from a side hustle to your full-time gig and actually doing something that you enjoy and that you have more control of your time. So that's definitely what I would recommend.
You're the man. I totally appreciate it. Like I say, we can take up a lot of episodes with the, we only have a couple minutes, but I would say, thanks a lot. And it's been a pleasure. You're a good guy, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken, and you as well.